Desacatando la mañana por el FM Radio, la emisora de los hispanos.
Y buenos días, good morning. Feliz jueves. Hey, buenos días. Hoy tenemos un invitado especial.
Yes, indeed.
Bienvenido, señor Frank. Saludos, mister.
Saludos, buenos días.
Caballero.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Tenemos un gran invitado hoy. ¿Qué le parece si podemos mejor que se haga su propia introducción?
Indeed.
And
Do you want us to introduce you or you want to introduce yourself? Like I want you to do like a grand slam and introduce yourself.
Okay.
As the new elected sheriff.
Okay.
That's just being positive, you know?
Okay. Buenos días.
There you
mis
go.
amigos.
¡Eva! Good morning, Mr. Jerry.
Mi amo es Jerry Speziale. I am running for the sheriff of Passaic County, the former sheriff.
Yeah.
I am in charge of the Patterson Police, Policía, and the Bombero.
Nice.
Nice.
Mi
So you
esposa-
speak a little bit of Spanish. That's great.
Yeah, that's
mi,
good.
Mi esposa es Boricua.
Okay, good.
Hey.
Whoa.
Hey.
Coqui?
So it's glad to have you. It's very important for us to have you, and we would like to appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for accepting our invitation.
My pleasure.
So, Mr.
Okay,
Frank.
we would like to introduce you. Like he already introduced himself, but we want to extend our thanks to you for showing up and coming in here and talk about what you have coming for the Passaic County, Sheriff Department and whatnot. We would like to know what you will do for the community. You know, I don't want to just start asking you questions, but I want you to kind of tell us what's in your agenda.
Okay. Look, I've been in law enforcement, and this is not about money for me. This is about a passion and a love for the profession of law enforcement. I come from the Bronx. That's where I started my career with the NYPD. And I have traveled working with the U.S. federal government and the NYPD from the Dominican Republic throughout the world. I've traveled just about every single continent. So what I consider that for me is I attended the University of Life.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's all about understanding people's cultures and being able to live in that culture and that environment and sharing in that diversity. So whether I went to 1,000,000 schools, I consider my greatest education that traveling and living, whether it was in the DR, whether it was in, the Caribbean, whether it was in South America, Central America, that's all been the University of Life for me,
Wow.
to where I was able to learn about so many different cultures and so many different customs. The Dominican culture. I became so familiar with the richness of the Dominican culture and the outstanding contributions they make to our community every single day.
Yep.
So that's what this is all about. This is about, yes, it's a law enforcement agency, and the job is a law enforcement professional. But it's also about making sure that the department looks like the community it represents.
Yep. Yeah, that's
that's
very important.
very important.
Yep.
That is very
Because
important.
that's how you build your image. That's how you build the trust. of
And you had the
community.
experience already.
Yes.
So-
And that's what I'm looking forward to. Look, yes, it's about crime fighting. And I'm a crime fighter. I love that. That's in my stomach, in my heart, in my mind. But you also got to be able to balance those crime fighting efforts with just as vigorous protection of constitutional rights and civil liberties and people's rights.
Yep.
So, that's who I am. I'm about being well-rounded and understanding diversity and culture and all of those things. Crime fighting, that's easy because that's something that I love and have the passion for.
Well, I do understand that you served previously as
Yes.
the sheriff for Passaic County.
Yes, I did.
So this will be your second term.
Yes, it would be my second time there.
So if you had to say that you learned something in your previous term, what did you learn that you could bring to the new term? Like, if granted that you will be elected, what do you think that you learned that you didn't imply back then that you will implement now?
Well, what I learned is, I also teach as a professor in criminal justice at the university.
Okay.
So what I learned is that image and our presence and the way we communicate with the community and work with the community is such a big, important part of our job. One of the biggest parts, everybody thinks it's crime fighting, right? But it's also about service.
And reaching out to the community.
And
Yeah.
and having the community work with you to come up with solutions.
Yep.
So that they feel that they're a part of this. Not that you're just doing this.
Yeah.
That everybody's doing it together and making a partnership. That's the collaboration and the partnerships that we want to create. That's what I have learned over the years, that it's so important to mesh with the community and understand everybody's concerns, their needs, what do they want, what do they not want.
Okay.
So that's the important things that I believe that need to be done.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know, and I don't know if you were aware of this, but I know Passaic County, it's you have so many different communities. I mean, so many different backgrounds in
Yeah.
Passaic County. I just wanted you to know that right now you're gonna be listed by a bunch of like different communities. Like you're gonna
Yeah,
have
yeah,
like
yeah.
people from Puerto Rico, people
Sure.
from Dominican Republic, people from Guatemala, like you were saying before. People from Venezuela, all over. Like
Yeah, a lot of
all-
community
all-
Spanish.
all
Sure.
black
Yeah,
communities.
black community,
We have
yeah.
a lot of black listeners.
Sure.
Anglo listeners.
Sure.
We have so many outreach that you're gonna be put on the spotlight, and hopefully we're gonna be getting phone calls. And maybe people will ask questions and say like, oh, and I'm gonna try to do my best to ask the question that I think those people will have for
Right.
you.
Sure.
So I'm gonna be kind of like the devil's advocate, if you will, in a
I
way.
understand.
But I just wanted you to know that it's, to me personally, it's a pleasure that he's here and he's basically being put on the spotlight.
Sure.
And show the community that he's about the community.
Yeah,
because-
especially our community, Spanish
Yeah,
community,
yeah.
want to hear what she's gonna do for the
Yeah.
Hispanic community,
Yeah,
especially for young kids.
Yeah,
like
for young
this,
kids.
This kid right here,
Sure.
just probably have some question.
Sure.
I definitely have some questions.
Go
for
ahead,
you.
go ahead, Steve. I didn't
ahead,
want to
go,
take your,
Stevie.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a listen and hear your story a bit, give the listeners also a chance to hear your story and hear your background. My question for you, what are some short-term goals you have once you are back in office? Like you said, you already had one term, so you kind of like know what the job entails. So what do you think in your short term, first 30, 60, 90 days, what do you want to achieve?
I want to change the face of the sheriff's department. I want to get back to the traditional. I'm a big black and white police car. I'm a big, like I said, crime fighter with specialized units and doing things that'll help the community be safer. There's no quality of life if your homes and neighborhoods aren't safe and your children and your seniors and your families are left unprotected. So what do I want to do? I want to go in there and I want to look and I want to do a post by post analysis. Like, why is this here? What does this serve? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And go from that to figuring out where every piece needs to be. And I want to see people like yourself in those uniforms. I want to see people from these other communities so that we represent the community that we are
that you
protecting.
serve. Yeah.
Yes, that's really important. That's a very important thing. So, look, is it going to take time? Of course it takes time.
Yeah, that would
because
take.
there's testing and there's all different types of things to put people on. But I definitely want to see a change up. I want to see that in my administration needs to be diverse. Can't just be filled with white males. That doesn't work. So I want to see that diversity. I want to see that throughout the department and I want to be able to work with all of the communities to find out and have representatives in each of the communities so that we have, and I want to come back here and listen to what people want, because that's really what's important.
Is that a promise?
Yes.
You're coming back
Oh,
here.
absolutely.
You're not going to be a big shot now.
No.
Once you get elected,
No, not at all. Not at all.
you're not going to forget about
No,
us.
I will not forget about
Hey,
you.
Mr. Jerry. Who's this guy?
No.
Nananina.
And that's the best part of this, is that we all share a common goal, and that's, to have safer streets and community involvement and programs and things that we need for our people.
Yeah,
And I do like the question that Steve asked, that he said that, what is your short-term goals? I mean, it's sometimes you have a community that might be divided.
That's
you
correct.
know? And I know that's hard to fix in a way. You have any pointers on how you plan on fixing that or
Going
approach it?
Going out to those communities myself.
Wow.
Not a
So-
representative.
Okay.
No, me. Going out
Yeah,
and
this is-
holding.
You're gonna see the problems by
Not
yourself.
just ruling behind a desk.
No. I'm not an armchair quarterback. What I
Okay.
want to be is the guy in the field that goes out and listens to the community and hears what they're saying, so that I can at least have my perspective of what they're looking for, what their needs are, what their concerns are, what's making them happy, what's making them not happy. And that's how you start to change the department and make it a better department.
Yeah, I really can really prove it, because today one part of his thing is that the Dominican. And he's
There you
with
go.
us today.
That's
so
right.
Mr.
Danny
That's
Cabrera.
right.
Danny
That's
Cabrera. So
Yes.
this is part. The Hispanic community is in his thing. That is very important.
Very
Okay,
important.
and that's a good point that you bring. Because Danny, maybe you have some question for him. You being inside looking out, if you will. Like maybe you have some questions. Maybe you have some pointers. Maybe some. I don't know, some question that you might want to ask and to
Or
kind of
something
like
he want to share with
Yeah,
us
exactly.
about him.
Exactly. That's good. That's good.
I can
Whoa,
share
Danny.
with you guys that I know Jerry since he first ran, and you can see the difference and the change, not only within the department but with the community, which is more important. When he was the sheriff, you will see the presence of the sheriff's department within the communities, all the different cities, Patterson, you name it, Prospect Park, Hilden. You will see the sheriff's department patrolling. You will see the sheriff's department assisting local police departments. So you had a different and a better quality of life where you feel more safer. That's at a community level. Now at a department level, it was also another, great experience. Department level, everything was working the way it was supposed to be working. And the fact that he has the mentality where he understands that our community, not only the Hispanic community, but the community at large, needs to have representation, because everybody knows what their needs are. And
That's
he
right.
wants to sit
Yeah,
on the
absolutely,
table.
yeah.
He wants to sit on the table and listen to those concerns, and not be just one director to, I'm like he said,
Yes.
I'm gringo, whatever. No, my wife.
gonna be
no,
sitting in my
It doesn't
desk.
matter where you're coming from.
That's right.
We want to make sure that the team understands that we're gonna have representation for everybody,
That's
so
right.
they can feel represented.
Everybody has to have a seat at the table.
There you go.
And a voice.
Nice.
The
That sounds
voice.
really good.
You need to have the seat at the table for everybody, and you also have to listen to their voice.
He doesn't remember this, but I'm gonna make it public now here. I remember one time in Patterson.
This is going back how many years?
He wasn't even the sheriff. He was the director of, so we're talking about maybe 7, 8 years.
Okay.
Okay.
We understand the challenges that departments have, police departments with budgets and personnel, etc. But there was a situation where I have family members, my aunts from my father's side living in Patterson, and there was the constant issue with the loud music
Yeah.
from the tenants on the first floor. So grandma couldn't sleep
That's
every
right.
day, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. They would call the cops, call the cops, call the cops, call the cops. Never, nothing happened. I called this guy at 2:30 in the morning. He goes, Jerry, boy. He goes, then what's up? I'm like, I have the situation. I need this handle right now because this is
He's shaking his head like he remembers.
this is not
I give
a
that
way of
phone
life.
to everybody.
So you know what happened? Within 7 minutes, you have probably 4 or 5 units there shutting everything down. You know, things got handled, and my family was able to perceive the difference when you actually receive the services that you're paying for.
That's what they want.
Yeah,
That's what people want, the service. You know, the mayor, when he gets a call about a noise, you know, whatever it is police related, he doesn't even answer him back.
No.
He sends the text to me, call, and the name and the phone number. And then I call cold and say, this is the director, this is Jerry Speziale. I don't know what your issue is, but I'll be more than happy to help you
Wow.
and to address it and figure out how we can solve it. And whether it's loud noise, then I take that. I have one phone that gets handed off every shift to the captain. So that phone is one number I got to call. One number I got to text. I don't have to remember any number. I have to know one number. And that phone keeps changing as the shift changes. So when I need something or he calls me and there's a problem,
It
I
gets
get on
handled.
that one number,
And
goes
that's
to the
it.
captain, handle it. This is the issue. And I'll copy his text and I'll paste it and send it right to him. Deal with this.
So when you witness that, it actually works.
Yep.
And like I
It's
said,
communication.
my
Yep,
family felt
communication.
that they got the services that they were paying for. They felt safe because it was a constant issue for weeks. Imagine, old lady,
Yeah.
80-something years old,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 in the morning with a
Wow.
live band.
She can
Every
sleep.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you call the cops, they call the cops, they never showed up.
Yeah.
I'm like, why will he answer the phone at 2-something in the morning too? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And handle the situation. So
Yeah,
to
that's
me,
the most
to me,
important.
that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does. Hey, I feel like we're only speaking English here. How about our Spanish speaking
Que lo
listeners?
que.
You know? I mean, come on. I don't want them to feel left out, you know?
No, don't worry. We're gonna have caption.
Yeah, well, mi gente, estamos aquí con el próximo
Sheriff.
electo sheriff del county de Passaic. So, de Passaic County. Si ustedes tienen alguna pregunta, llamen, háganle. I'm just saying that anybody has a question to call and ask them themselves. We are more welcome, and Jerry's it's actually willing to answer any kind of question you guys
Absolutely.
might have. But yo quiero que la gente que hablan español, que viven en Passaic County, que llamen y que expresen sus inquietudes y que hagan cualquier pregunta que ellos tengan para Jerry, you know.
Y si alguien se perdió el show hoy en la mañana, este show va a estar disponible en YouTube y también pueden comentar y hacer preguntas ahí abajo que se vamos a hacer llegar al sheriff. So, if you have any comments, you can do it on the YouTube channel.
And we'll make sure that we text Jerry with those questions.
Yes. Steve.
2:30.
Yeah, 2:35.
Also, I wanted to advise our listeners just to go out there and do your research for your own. Just how Jerry was saying earlier, he's outside on the front lines in our community making a difference. He didn't even know it, but I was in Patterson 2 weeks ago for a free public fire department event. And he was outside meeting everyone. When I mean everyone, I was at this event for 4 or 5 hours, and he was going, shaking hands, having genuine conversations. I'm talking like 5 minutes, 10 minutes with families, meeting them, meeting their concerns. So when he says he's outside on the front lines making a difference, it's true. And if
Thank you.
don't just listen
And you
to
can
us,
prove that because you was there.
Yeah, I
Thank
could
you.
prove it in saying that myself, but
Thank
you go prove it and go outside, and that it'll show you the difference. Because in the previous years, I could have told you who was our deputy sheriff. I never got the chance to meet him. I didn't see him making a difference. I didn't see him with the fire. I saw you that same day.
That's what it is, having the fire in the belly.
Yeah.
I still have that fire. It'll never die out.
What would you say sparked that fire? What gave you,
You
that
know,
initial?
My mother's brother was an original New York State trooper that was an undercover, and I'm going to date myself a little bit, during Woodstock.
Wow.
And I was watching him growing up, you know, coming in and with the peace sign and the long hair back then and throwing the gun on the bed. And that's what kind of really inspired me to get into law enforcement. And then once I started, I couldn't stop. It's really a calling. You know, law enforcement is a calling. If you do this and you love it, then you're going to love to do this job. But when you are stopped from doing the job, or you don't have that positive image of a department, or you don't have the right tools for the public, then you feel inadequate.
The support,
Yeah.
the support from the
So
higher,
you want the job to inspire you to be better and to do better.
Now, Jerry, Steve was saying that he saw you a couple of weeks ago when you came out and like spent like 5 minutes at a time with different families. What can you say if I was to ask you, is that something you're doing because you're campaigning, or is that something that you will do once you become the elected sheriff?
That's something I do every day. My door's always open. People call me every day. I talk to everyone. There's nowhere I go that I don't talk to people, whether it's a barber shop, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's in a parking lot. If I go and knock on somebody's door, or if somebody has a problem at a community meeting, I will listen to them. I'm not going to stand. I don't want to be too short with somebody and say, oh, no, you only have 2 minutes to talk to me because I'm very busy. No, that doesn't work. People have no respect for you. So I want them to respect me. I want them to understand that I'm here to serve you.
Yeah, and to solve a problem. If there is
Exactly.
one.
How
yeah.
am I going to solve a problem if I just listen to you and only hear what I want to hear? No, I need to hear your voice. I need to hear your issue.
But you know there's a lot of issues between the communities and law enforcement.
Yes.
And it's something that might not even go away anytime soon.
No.
Because it's like almost, I was going to say it's almost like a cancer, but cancer might be a too much of a negative word to say. But what do you plan to do, implement in your department to kind of like mediate the relationship between civilians and law enforcement?
The easiest way to do that is make sure that the department represents the community. I used to have units that would go out, and I would have an African American as the supervisor or a Hispanic as the supervisor, and then, different breakup of diversity in that unit. Because you know why? The Hispanic is not going to let another cop beat up the Hispanic guy. Or an African American supervisor is not going to let them beat up. Not that a white
or abuse
guy
them or whatever. Yeah.
It's just the diversity. And it doesn't have to be a supervisor. You can have a white supervisor, but have the diversity of that group, so that everybody pretty much has a say of what's going on while they're out there
Feel more
fighting
comfortable.
crime. You know what I mean? They're not stereotyping.
Yeah, so much
So
to
it
say
takes
as
the
a
stereotype out of
person
it.
that looks like the other
Yes,
person
yes,
type of deal.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly what it is. It's no stereotype.
Yep.
Because of that.
And that's something that you are trying to kind of
Something that
implement.
would absolutely be implemented. I'm big
I
on
think that's
having
a
that
server,
diversity.
Yeah, I think it's so. Yeah, because it's very important. The first thing what he say, like, I want to speak with people. I want to hear people. I want to know what you guys want to do, what you guys don't want to do.
Yeah.
So when you bring them to the table, does mean you're expecting to be some change. Like whatever is happening, if you give me the opportunity to listen what I need, and you can fix it, then you fix it. Then it's gonna be great communication between
Absolutely.
our community and the sheriff.
Yes. That's what we have to do. You have to
Exactly.
listen to people.
This
That's
is the-
that's the biggest thing that people want from the police. Not just walk up and tell them what they're doing. How about just listening to somebody? How about going to a community meeting and listening to what the issues are in this neighborhood, because they're probably different in the next neighborhood and the next community and the next community. Everybody has different issues, different concerns, different things that they want. So our job is to deliver them. If we deliver them, then we make everybody happy. When I ran the last time, I had done so much community work. I'm the only candidate that has ever won all 16 of the 16 towns in Passaic County, 3-1. All 16 towns.
Wow.
Even the Republican towns. As a Democrat.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that deserves another round.
So that's how you know that you're listening to people.
Yep.
Because they feel like they have a voice. They feel like you hear them, and they are respectfully giving you their vote. So that's how it works. I mean, if you don't, you're not going to be there long.
No.
You're not going to be there long.
Yep.
If you don't listen,
No, people
and
don't
you
gonna
just-
trust you.
and
People,
you don't
yeah.
talk, and you don't talk the talk and walk the walk, then forget it. It's
Yep.
not going to work.
Now, Jerry, I did a little bit of a background
Sure.
search on you. I mean, do you feel that your own department respects you and support you the same way the community will, or the same way you want the community to respect you and support you? Now, within your department, how do you feel that the support, from your own people within the department?
I know that the Patterson Police and the Fire Department respects me totally. We have a relationship that's built on mutual respect, trust, understanding, friendship. My door's always open. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to handle things for them and make things better. I believe the Sheriff's Department is the same way, but because of politics, I don't want to see any of them hurt because they do support me.
Okay.
So I would rather they support me. I believe they do support me in the majority, and that they just can't say it and can't openly. They're being bullied and intimidated. That's not the way I work. I don't work that way.
Okay.
We're not going to intimidate people and bully people into voting for somebody. You want me, I'm here to come
Yeah.
and take charge.
Now I love that answer, by the way,
Yeah.
because I think that you are being totally honest with that answer.
Sure.
Now you said Patterson. How about the other 15 towns?
I get along with all of them. We just lost the chief of the prosecutor's office, former chief Jimmy Bush. He died of cancer. And I found out yesterday. And we had worked together as young cops. He was here
I'm sorry to
in
hear
New
that,
Jersey,
yes. Sorry to hear.
and I was in New York in the Bronx. So we were very good friends. And I didn't even know he was sick. He was a very tough guy, very logical, smart guy. And he ended up passing away, and he has a son that's on the police department. I have a son that's on Patterson. And I found out. So I went over before I came here, and I went to the wake. And I made sure that I met with the chief from Wayne to say, look, I'm sending the Patterson motorcycles here in respect for him tomorrow morning to help you with the escort. I know that his son's on your department. I don't want to overstep. I spoke to your traffic commander. I told him the motorcycles will be there for the funeral. You do what you need with them. But we're just here to support you
Yeah,
and help you.
supporting.
You know what it is? Whatever a town wants, we'll give them.
Yeah.
Whatever they don't want,
Yeah.
we'll give it to
So-
somebody else.
Exactly.
It's easy. It's a no-brain situation, no-brainer. You just gotta work with.
You just
people.
gotta be in touch
You
with
gotta
people,
listen.
work with the people,
If you
exactly.
listen, like I said, and you give people a voice, and you're willing to be someone that it's not only my way is the way it goes. You can't do that. Who wants to listen to people tell them this is the way it is? This is the way you gotta
This
vote.
is what it is, and that's
This
it.
is the way,
Nah.
and that's it. It don't
No,
work.
Don't work like that.
It
Steve?
doesn't work.
Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize on that point. You said you wanted to emphasize on giving people a voice. What would you say that the running office right now is doing that you would want to change, that you would say they're not giving a voice in, or maybe you feel like you could give the community more of a voice in? Would you plan out a meeting once a month where you could meet with the community members?
Yeah, there would be community forums. There is that is non-existent there now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
there's
know,
not,
I used to start in the morning
Mhm.
every day as the sheriff, all the way up in the top at Camp Hope in West Milford every morning, and I'd meet people at the bus stations, and then I would make my way down into Wanacue in the middle of the community, and I'd stop there, and then I'd make my way down and maybe meet a senior group in Pumpkin Lakes, and then I'd make my way down and maybe go over to Prospect Park or Haledon, and then go down to Patterson. But I was going everywhere because you were getting the feel and the pulse of the entire community.
And that's a tough one because Passaic County, it's a big county.
It's a big county.
It's a big
836
county.
square
Yep,
miles.
Yep, it's
You
a
know,
big
think about
county.
it.
You
It's a
know,
big county.
From the New York border up in Rockland and Orange County, all the way down to here.
Wow.
You know, think about it, to Bergen. That's a big
It's a
county.
big county.
But you know what I noticed knocking on doors? How diverse Up County has become. You go to, I knock on a door, Italian family. You knock on a door, Irish family. You knock on a door, Dominican family. You knock on a door, Peruvian family. You knock on a door, I'm telling you, it just, every couple of doors, the community is very much
diverse, yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very. Passaic County is extremely diverse, even Up County. I went up to see because I wanted to see Ringwood. Ringwood is, further up.
Yeah.
So as Ringwood being further up, I said, look, I'm going to the door-to-door here in Clifton and Patterson and Passaic, and everybody knows me, or they like you, or they want to support you. So I said, I wonder how they feel up in Ringwood. So even though the houses were 2 miles apart, I went up and I took the list and I went through and I got the same feeling. So they still knew who you were. They still wanted to talk to you. They still were happy that you came to the door. And again, Dominican family, Italian family, Puerto Rican, you know what I mean? Very, very diverse all the way through that county. The county is totally diversified. Wayne is more than diverse. It's almost like Patterson.
And
I'll
Wayne
be
is
honest
huge
with you.
still.
Yeah.
Wayne is
honest
huge.
Wayne is- yeah,
Wayne is
Wayne is
huge.
huge.
Wayne is
Yeah.
huge.
And
50
what would you
square
say?
miles.
What would
Yeah.
you say in throughout all the county? It's the highest or the more difficult crime-wise situation that you think that you will have to face.
Patterson's always, because it's the third largest city, has always had some serious crime problems. Patterson's doing pretty well with the crime, more recently. But again, as we get into those summer months, the key is not only fighting crime, it's the presence of us. Like I said, I used to take 30 officers out of the jail, and I would put them with the Patterson Police Department working.
So
in
you kind of work
specialized
hand in
units.
hand type
Yeah,
of
we
deal,
would
yeah.
lock the jail down. Guys would go out into the street, whether they did street crime or narcotics or just the presence, working with the different departments in the city, made it so much safer. So I would definitely want to see us working hand in hand once again with those departments.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a strike force that my former partner's in charge of in New York. And the strike force brings in about $400 million a year in money.
Wow.
400 million. So we could probably, if I put 8 or 10 guys in that unit, I had spoken to him, I could probably get 50% of that. Think about 400 million. Now you have 200 million that you could do programs,
Yeah, it's a
cars, equipment, building, whatever you need. And you ain't costing the taxpayer $1. Not $1. It's all forfeited funds.
Now, what would you say that what kind of support are you guys, your department, the sheriff department in Passaic County? What kind of support are you guys getting from the governor?
I don't know
Let me
how much.
rephrase the question.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase the question. Is if you were to compare yourself to other county, you think it's you have a fair support, if you will, like a compatible, if you will.
You know what it is? The governor is not really connected to the
sheriff's
sheriff's
department.
departments. No,
He has no saying whatsoever,
No,
not even politically or
he could politically back someone, but he doesn't really get involved in. The sheriff is a constitutional officer
Okay.
in the state of New Jersey, so because of that, you're in your own silo.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You don't answer to the governor.
governor, okay.
Yeah. Do you follow the attorney general guidelines? Of course we do. Do you follow all of the things that we're supposed to as law enforcement officers? Yes, you do. But more so, we operate as our own entity because
Okay.
we're a constitutional office. We have
Okay.
constitutional responsibilities. Whether it be the courts, whether it be the jail. The jail should not be gone. We're paying $105 for prisoners in Bergen County. Not only are we displacing families
Yep.
and people from their families, but when they pay their debt to society, they may have made a mistake. Okay, I understand that. And they serve their time. Guess what? When they get out of the jail, they get a boot in the ass and they get told, good luck. Don't get in trouble now. But now they're in Bergen County. They've been detached from their family, or they're in Essex County. They've been detached from their family. And you want them not to become a recidivist and repeat crime again?
That
How?
happens a lot.
How
Yeah,
do you
it's
do
gonna
that?
happen.
How are
Yeah,
you going to
yeah,
do that? That
yeah.
doesn't make sense to me.
No.
We can handle that, and we can make it work here. Like I said, I would love to see us sell some property, get some of that money from the strike force, build the appropriate facilities so that we could house the amount of prisoners. With bail reform, it's not going to be that large anyway. We don't need the size of the jail that we did, but if we had 2 or 3 floors in a public safety complex and had the right and made a central booking like New York City PD does where I come from, we would serve the towns better. We would serve ourselves better. We would have our officers there, and we can use those officers not just for the jail, but when we want to have things in the summer out in the street, we can get them out in the street, and we can pull them. And that's just the way you have to be innovative with your thinking. I've been there. I've done it. I know it works.
So how are
Yes.
you planning to get the resources to do that?
Like I said, one is forfeiture funds. That's a big well of money that is so easy to get. That's what I did my whole career. I've seized hundreds and
Yeah,
hundreds of
you've
millions.
done before.
I've done it. So that's an easy one. So that's the one part. The other part is being creative. And I just don't want to let my idea out so that my
Yeah, of course,
opponents
of
and the
course.
others
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
steal my idea.
But if you're not listening, what you
You
want
know,
to do? Yes.
listen and then figure it out.
Yeah.
But no, look, there's more than enough to not cost the taxpayers $1 so that we could have a state of the art with a jail, save money with our own prisoners, have a central booking, have officers so that we can have a bigger omnipresence in the summers and the communities when they need to be, so that the noise isn't there when Danny's up at 2:30 in the morning and his family can't
Yep.
sleep. Those are the things that we can do. But you got to be creative.
Yep.
You got to be willing to think outside the box. And that's what I'm looking to
Yep.
do. Think outside the box and make the things and adjust them to make sure that they work for the community. And the community will tell you if it's working.
Yep.
Definitely.
If you listen
Definitely,
to
yes.
them.
Especially if you go outside, talk to your community.
Yes.
They want to let you know whatever you're doing is not working.
And
That's
now,
correct.
I think that since you've done it before, now you think this time will probably be easier for you because you probably understand better and you've been through so much. I mean, you've seen so much that now you could probably understand better of what to target. I mean, I'm just asking
I'll tell you what. I think that the love and the passion for law enforcement is here. The image, all of those things that I talk about, that's still there. That's easy for me. That just comes to me.
Yeah.
So it's
You know,
love,
so that's
passion,
easy.
and experience.
That's
and
just
the
within your
experience.
blood, I guess.
The experience, what I think I have better now is that I'm much more mature. You know what I mean? So as much as I have the fire in the belly, I don't get excited over simple things. When I was younger, you had more fire and
Yep,
pepper
yep,
in
yep,
you.
yep, yep,
You
yep,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Now it's more of, okay, no big deal.
Yep.
Let's handle it. Let's figure it out. We'll work it out and make it happen. So I think the experience and the maturity helps a big deal.
And the experience, too.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, the
of
experience
course,
is- yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
But I've dealt with so many different things and situations that you become, the experience, the maturity, the fact that you don't get excited over things, and you look at it and you say, you know what, we got an issue with that, we got to handle it.
Yeah. So you have
Let's handle it.
You have two very important things: is the passion and the experience.
Yeah.
When you have passion, whatever you're doing, and you have the experience to do it, it's gonna be right.
Yeah,
It's no way to make mistake.
yeah.
So Jerry, I wanted to ask you for the youth and for people my age, what would you say if we wanted to make a difference in our community now? Obviously, voting would be one of them. What can we
that's a
do?
big one.
What else can we do to be part of the community and grow our community into what we want to see it for our kids and our future as well?
You know what? I think that you have to decide, do you want to have a life of public service? Because this is a calling, whether it's fire, whether it's police, whether it's, EMS, or whether it's community, involvement. This is public service. This is a public service. So it's a calling. I would say you have to know if you want to be in this. If you want to be in this, we have to, that's my job, to make sure that you have the opportunities to be there and make that happen for you. Because there's so many kids that I teach in the Passaic County Community College that are all diversity. There's all diversity there. And they all want to be in public service, whether it be police, whether it be fire. My job is to make that happen and to bring them there and make that happen. And to make sure that you keep them inspired every day. And you know what else goes a long way? This goes the biggest. When you see somebody as the sheriff and you know their name, and you say, hey, great job today. Thank you. You know what? That goes a long way.
Yeah,
with
definitely.
people. That really goes a long way. When you shake their hand, or you know they had a baby, or you know that they're having a troubled time with a family member at home. Because we've all had issues, we've all had problems, we've all had good things and bad things, but you need to know that about people. You can't
the only way to know is
just
being
make
out
them
there.
robots.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a robot, come in,
Yep.
do that, and just not know nothing about the person. No, you need to know their name. You need to know that they did something good last night, or they helped a community member, or they did. That's what public service is all about, and that's what leadership's all about. Leadership is making sure that you recognize people and making sure that you keep them inspired and let them know that you're proud of the job they're doing. Very, very important.
Hey, Danny, by the way, you have any other question like within the organization? I mean, whatever you could ask would probably shed some lights to what any other person might have in mind. Like I mean, if you have any I don't know, like any internal questions within the department, things that you think that should be better, that should go the way they're going. I mean, go ahead. Don't be shy.
Well, I wouldn't say not much of a question because since, being part of the team, we have discussed the vision so many times and we understand the direction of what, he wants to go with the department. And, simple things just like we were talking before, being able to reach the highest officer in your county, that's a plus.
Yeah.
When you're reachable, when you can talk to the people, there's some people that can't even talk to the council members in their own. Their own
They're always
cities.
behind the
The
desk.
council members.
Yeah.
There's some people can't even talk to a police officer,
Yeah.
a local chief of the department.
Yeah.
When you have the opportunity to be able to reach the sheriffs of the county, which is again the highest position in law enforcement within the county, that's a plus. And that's, I think, the team Speziale has been tremendously putting things together for the betterment of the community, and his team behind him, around him, is completely diverse. Bringing different ideas to the table. He's people that are running on the ticket with him as well come from different backgrounds and bring different experiences also as well, to the table. So their vision is there, their passion is there, and like we said before, when you like what you do, it's not a job. You're just having fun.
No, exactly.
You go outside, you ride, and you actually sit down and pay attention to someone that has an issue, and you make it happen. That's the difference.
Danny, it's so funny that he says that because we used to have a joke when we were young cops, and I would say to my partner, don't tell nobody, but if they didn't pay us, I would do this for free. I said, don't tell nobody.
Don't give him ideas.
love doing
This is my passion.
Don't give him any ideas.
Remember, there's so many people who's gonna be listening to you.
And
It's okay, because it's really not about money anymore.
I'm looking at the pictures here, and I see you way back when you first, I don't know if those
When I was
pictures
shot,
are good for you to
That's when I got
see.
shot.
Yeah.
Like an ambush.
I mean, you were like, really? You were
Yeah.
shot?
That was shot in the Bronx
Oh.
on the Grand Concourse.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
You might want to share that a little bit if you can.
you know what? It was back in the day when, we went through a lot of transition in law enforcement, right? So, how we talk about diversity, but there was a time in law enforcement where female officers were not so accepted. So I was in the precinct in the Bronx, and I had come to work that night, and a new recruit class had come to the precinct to be assigned, to start working. They had graduated. So that day there was about 5 or 6 of them, and we were going to break up with our partners to take the new person with us.
Yep.
And there was a smaller girl named Crystal Rodriguez.
You still remember the name?
I remember Crystal very well. Good friend, good cop. So Crystal Rodriguez was there, and there was a guy that was gigantic, and there were other people there. So my partner picked the big gigantic guy, and then I seen the next guy pick the bigger guy, and the next guy, and I said, she can ride with me. She'll ride with me. So she rode with me that night, Crystal. So we get a call at 4:20 in the morning. We didn't even know what crack was. We thought it was peanuts. We didn't even know what crack was. It was right when crack hit.
Yeah.
So there was a guy that was high on crack, and he was inside the vestibule. And as people were coming in the building, he was putting them up on the wall and robbing them. He was putting people on the wall. So you would come in, he'd put you on the wall. Next woman come in, he'd put you on the wall. So he kept lining them up with the wall. And then he was high on crack. He took a shot into the ground and said, when they come, I'm going to get them. For us.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we get a call, and we had made a deal. My partner, John, who I used to work with, I'm now with Crystal. So John says, look, I'll back you up, you back me up. We both have new people. So we get the call for that robbery. So I hear John go there, he's going, and I say I'm going to go on a backup. And as I'm going towards the thing, the next thing you hear is a 1013 and him screaming, shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. I'm hit. Well, the door swung in, and the big gigantic guy that he picked, I remember where his handprint was on the door, trying to push it out to try and get out of the building, not stay in the building with him. So I went in. And when I went in, I took a shot, and I hit the guy in the ankle. And he went up the stairs. I forced him up the stairs. So I went over to my partner, John. He was hit in the hip. And I took his gun, and we used to use bullet pouches.
Yeah.
And I dumped his bullets, and I filled up. Crystal's with me. I start going up the stairwell. When I get up onto the 4th floor stairwell, he had taken the light out. And all of a sudden, I just hear, bam, bam, bam. And he starts shooting down. There was a woman that was killed. She was in the doorway. She was already dead. So when I got to that 4th floor stairwell, I started seeing the flash from the gun, and I went like this, and the next thing I know, I got hit. So I said, I'm hit. Well, Crystal, I didn't realize, was right behind me. She didn't go out the door. No, she came right up the stairs behind me.
You chose the right
one. The little one.
Yes.
Remember what I told you when I came in?
Yeah.
Be afraid of the little ones.
Right? Crystal Rodriguez was with me. And then I hear more bang, bang, bang. I'm hit. And she looks at me and she says, I'm hit. She got hit 3 times in the shield and 1 time right here in the lip of the vest. And she was in shock. So I looked at her and she says, I think I'm hit. I grab her by the back of her jacket and I throw her down the stairs. I kick a door open. It's 4:20 in the morning. There's a family there.
The adrenaline that night.
I put her inside and I take her gun and I take her bullets. Now I have 3 guns and I have so many bullets. It was like the OK Corral.
Rambo.
I don't want it to
Rambo
seem
right
crazy,
there.
but I hit. So I come back out, and the guy goes up. I force him up to the roof. He jumps off a roof 30 feet. He goes down. Now I'm calling for cop cars all over the place. They're coming from everywhere. I'm calling 1013. I'm calling shots. Cops shot. Everybody is coming. All of a sudden, the next thing you see is the guy takes his jacket off, and he had a black and white striped shirt. I remember it. So he took the peacoat off, and he starts walking down the street like nothing's happening, right
No
towards
way.
the cops that are all standing there. They don't realize that's the shooter.
Yeah.
So some sergeant yells, "Hey, buddy, get out of there. There's some guy shooting." He's talking to the guy.
Yeah.
No way.
So now I'm hit, bleeding in between two parked cars, and I jump up. That's him! Ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. And I'm firing. So a news crew sets up on the concourse as he's running and shooting, and I'm running and shooting with him. I have 3 guns.
So he was still shooting at that.
He was still shooting. We're shooting.
Wow.
We over 100-something shots were fired. We were going back and forth. I hit the Channel 4 news guy. I won one off of him because you hear him on the. That's how that videotape you're showing. You think that's me saying I'm hit? No, that's the news crew that's saying they're hit. That's the news guy saying, "Oh my God, I'm hit." I hit him, and then there's a patrol car coming up the street, and I hit through the patrol car. That's why the prisoners are ducking in the patrol car, because the 2 cops jumped out of it. And we just kept this running gun battle that lasted for almost 20 minutes. But that girl stayed with me.
Wow.
That girl
Did
stayed
she
with me.
make
The
it?
little girl.
She was a good pick.
She made it though. She was okay.
Yeah, Crystal did make it, and she became a detective, like me, and she was a phenomenal cop. She had a real tragedy in her life. She had twins, and she was driving down the Palisades Parkway in the ice, and the vehicle lost control and flipped, and one of the kids was killed. So it was, that was a tough situation for her.
So you were close to her, I see.
Yeah, I loved her. I thought she was great. She was a really good cop. And like I said, back then, that was not really the norm.
For how long have you in the job, Jerry?
Oh, God, I'm going to be 40 years.
Wow.
I'm going to be 40 years.
So the experience is right there.
Yeah, 40
And
years.
the passion is right there, too.
I still love
I
it.
can see it.
Like the first day.
Wow.
So
Doesn't change.
Jerry, I want you to tell people where to go, when to go to get out there and vote for you.
June 4th is the key to this election. Junio de cuatro. Okay? That is the key. In Passaic County, Jerry Speziale for sheriff. That is the key. June 4th is this election. Once we make it through June 4th, it's over.
Yep.
But we got to make it through June 4th, and we need everybody. If you vote by mail, please fill your ballot out and mail it in.
Junio 4.
Junio 4.
Junio 4.
Junio 4. esa es la
Mi gente.
votación.
Junio
Así que
4.
todos los hispanos que están escuchando, junio
Salgan a
4,
votar.
salgan a votar. Y si
Yeah.
no quieren salir a votar, manden el voto por correo. Pero salgan a votar. Escucharon a Jerry, un hombre de mucha experiencia, grand experience, mucha pasión, mucho amor por su trabajo. Así que mis hispanos que nos están escuchando ahí, que son
Jerry
de-
Speziale, right?
Jerry
That's how you
Speziale,
pronounce your
yeah.
last name, right? Speziale. And I don't know, I consider myself a good judge of character. You seem like a humble guy, too.
I am a humble guy. I have the passion. I have the fire. Like I said, over the years, when I was younger, I would let stupid things bother me. That's gone. That's pretty much, that ship has sailed. You know what I mean? That's why I said with the maturity and the experience and the passion, it's such a perfect dynamic for the department at this point.
You know what's funny? At first, I thought I was going to grill this guy, and I became a fan.
No,
Oh, my
said,
God.
well, I found, like I said, that university of life, man. If you just respect people and you tell your officers that you're proud of what they're doing every day, they're going to work that much harder for you. That's all they want. They just want respect from their leadership. They want to be treated the right way. And they want to be able to do their job. They don't need me to tell them how to do their job. They know how to do their job.
yeah.
And they do it great. But they just need to be able to have that pat on the back, thank you. You know, you did a great job today. I heard about that chaser. I heard about this. I heard about that. That's all they want to know is that somebody recognizes them and stands for them and stands up for them, you know?
What is the term for a county sheriff?
3
3
years.
years.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 years. 3
3 years.
Yeah.
And how many terms can you serve?
You could serve as many as you want.
Okay.
Like I said,
Continuously,
because
I
of
mean-
that constitutional
Okay.
office, it's 3 years, 3 years, 3 years.
And you could do as many 3 years as you
could
can.
do that till eternity.
I guess, I mean,
Yeah.
if you are as good as you saying you are, and you
So
have
we're gonna
said
you expect
here,
it to
I
be
guess,
long.
I guess you're gonna
You know,
die in
look.
office after June 4th.
Look, I want you to know that I'm not perfect.
Nobody
by
is.
any,
Nobody
by any
is.
means.
Yeah,
I make
yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah.
I make bad decisions. We all do.
Yeah, we all
you
do.
know, I'm
Yeah.
human. So I understand that, you know, you can make a mistake, but at least write it when it's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This way you don't do it again.
Fix it.
Yeah.
That's my situation. I want to be able to fix that place, and I want it to be able to shine and be the best sheriff's department in the world. Because you know what? When I was there, I used to get resumes from cops in Los Angeles, Florida.
They
you
wanna
name
come
it,
by.
That wanted to come here. They seen us on Cops, or they seen us on one of the shows that we did.
Yep.
You know, when we used to do with the TV. They wanted to come here. I used to get resumes from people from Los Angeles that would want to come to the Passaic County.
Wow.
That's what I want. I want that image back.
Yeah.
I want that pride back instilled in the men and women of the Sheriff's Department. They are a great group. They are a talented group of individuals, and they're truly dedicated to what they do. We just need to let them do it.
Yep. Wow.
So I don't want to hold for that long. I don't even thought you're gonna be here for 1 hour.
Yeah.
So, but I was really, really appreciate. I mean, you really surprised me with all the
Thank you.
information,
Thank
all
you.
your experience.
Thank you.
And I think people you're gonna have to both.
Let me
For
tell you
you.
something. If you get 50%, if you get 50% of the people that hear the station, the radio station, and they vote for you,
Yes.
the 50% of
That'll
people,
help me.
That's it. You're done.
We got
That's
it.
it. You
Yeah,
won.
you're done.
already. You won.
So I'm gonna vote.
Por eso es bueno
Junio de
recordarle.
cuatro.
Let
a
me
la
just
gente.
congratulate you right now.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. But like I said, please, I don't take anything for granted.
Yep.
That's one thing. Please don't take this for granted and think that we have this in the bag. No,
No,
we need
no,
everybody.
yeah.
June 4th, you need to get
Get out.
everybody to vote. Your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your family member, anybody, your neighbor. Bring somebody to the poll. Put your mail-in ballot in. That's what needs to be done.
Your decision counts.
Yeah,
it makes a
absolutely.
difference. It
Absolutely,
makes a difference,
absolutely.
you know.
That's
La
what
fuerza
we're
de todos
bringing.
nosotros está en el voto.
En el voto.
Cuando nosotros sabemos elegir a los candidatos que dirigen nuestras ciudades. Por eso le estamos haciendo la recomendación a todos los que están oyendo este hermoso programa. Junio 4 son las elecciones, hay que salir a votar por Jerry Speziale. Y los que votan por correo, no pierdan tiempo. Eso es llenándolo ahí, selle su sobre y envíelo por correo inmediatamente, porque quejándonos en las redes no vamos a resolver
No vamos a resolver
nada.
nada.
Llamando al vecino no resolvemos nada. Es teniendo gente
Que nos
en
representen.
oficina que nos represente y haga el trabajo.
Sí.
Así que hay que salir a votar por Jerry y su team especial.
Y hay muchos de nosotros los hispanos que no salimos a votar por este tipo de candidatura, de los sheriffs, de los, ¿cómo se llaman? Lo que son locales. No le damos mucha importancia
y son
a eso.
y son los que nos
son los
gobiernan.
y son los que gobiernan
Nos
el
gobiernan.
gobierno local de nosotros.
¿Qué se
Claro,
necesita
claro. Salgan a
para
votar.
votar?
Para votar tiene que estar legalmente registrado.
Registrado. Ajá.
Para votar. Tiene que ser ciudadano de los Estados Unidos y mayor de 18 años.
Y tiene que vivir en
el county.
en el county.
Tiene que ser residente
Passaic
de
County
Passaic
resident.
County
Yep.
y está registrado. El Passaic County tiene 16 municipalidades, desde Ringwood arriba para Passaic, Clifton, Patterson, North Heldon, Wayne. O sea, son muchas ciudades. Todo el que vive, quizás tú no vives en Passaic County, pero ¿qué pasa? Tu prima, tu tía, el
No,
sobrino,
yo
el
tengo
amigo,
mucha gente
vive
en Passaic
Passaic
County.
County.
Yo tengo mucha
We
gente.
have probably the largest Hispanic population, I say, in this state.
We do.
Our
Yep.
county is
Yep.
probably the
60
largest
something percent.
Hispanic representation in the state. if the Hispanic representation comes out and votes, there is no way they even have a close chance. But we need them to come out. You have to come out and express yourself and vote. Be the voice of change.
Don't worry, because this video is gonna go to every single Hispanic person in Passaic County.
Right.
I gonna take the proud. Don't worry about
By
it.
tomorrow morning,
appreciate
you're gonna be viral.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
I want to tell you how humbled and honored I am to be here and meet you guys, and hopefully we'll have a long-lasting relationship
Yep.
in the future, and I will definitely be back. And I'll close with this. Mis hermanos, los quiero mucho.
Hey, Jerry, right here, right now, I want you to promise when you win, and you will win, I want you to come back here and give us an interview.
I absolutely, positively, I will even make it one better, Danny. I'll do it the next day if they want.
Whoa!
I'll do it the next day.
Señores, gracias por estar con nosotros hoy. Así que les recuerdo que si se perdieron esta entrevista, véala por el canal de YouTube. Va a estar disponible esta noche de una vez. Así que, mi gente de Passaic County, salgan a votar. Vamos a demostrarle, vamos a enseñarle a Jerry que lo queremos y que eso que él dijo nos lo demuestre
Exacto.
siendo el sheriff.
Exacto.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
good luck.
you.
Good luck.